Good morning, you guys. This is my first day in Seattle, first full day here, and I wanted to show you guys my cute little hotel room. So this is a little coffee station. They came with actually a little snacks, coffee. Of course, I always stay hydrated. When I travel, I try to drink a few of these a day. This is 1.5 liters. One down yesterday. Comes with a little fridge, little hanging station, and then my TV, and of course my bed. And here is my view. Nothing crazy. My hair looks like wicked frizzy right now, but that's okay. So I already went for a run this morning and that felt amazing. But I wanted to kind of jump on here quick and talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing here, and hopefully I can take you guys with so you can actually see it. Backstory, I was here about 2.5 years ago. Microsoft brought me out for an interview for a senior developer advocate role for their Channel 9. If you're not familiar with Channel 9, I'll link it in the description. They have a bunch of great shows. They go into different topics around programming, and a lot of it stems from .NET, since it is Microsoft. But anyways, this kind of whole thing like brings me back to that point of 2.5 years ago when I was here in Seattle getting ready to interview. And the funny thing is I was actually working at a company when the whole situation kind of came up. I wasn't actually looking for a job, but what happened was I was on Twitter and I was engaging with one of their senior developer advocates, and I liked and commented on one of his tweets. What happened was on Twitter, he went to my Twitter profile and saw that I was a developer. I have my YouTube link on there, and so he went to my YouTube channel. And at the time, I used to create a lot of tutorial style content, teaching people, different frameworks and libraries, usually around React, React Native, Redux, Flux. I think those were most of them. Alright, so my camera battery was not charged, so it was dying. So we are going to be filming on my iPhone because Josh has a Pixel because he needs it for testing. Dev life. But I'm going to take you guys with on my iPhone, so I already apologize up front for the bad audio and maybe visual. But we are going to go look for a coffee shop to go work from. As you guys see, still made my bed. Everything is all cleaned up and put together. Like I said, you guys, when you work remote or you travel a lot, it's so important to stay in a routine and do the same things that you normally do. I try to still always make my bed and make sure my environment is just tidy and clean. It's so easy to just throw things around. But anyways, enough of that. Wanted to show you off to the coffee shop. Take a look at this awesome coffee shop in Seattle that I just found. What's up, you guys? I am back in my room, back on my good camera, so you guys will see the quality difference. And I got that natural light coming in from the actual sun. So before I bring you guys into what I'm actually doing here in Seattle, I wanted to talk to you guys about failure. So as I said at the beginning of this video, I failed an interview with Microsoft. It happens. It's not going to be the last time I fail something, and that was 2.5 years ago, and it definitely hasn't. My business failed since then that I started. So failures are part of life, but it's what you do from that failure that really matters. And I know that sounds super cliche and everybody says it, but it's seriously true. And for the most part, you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And a lot of times you remember your failures more than you remember those great success moments that you've had. I know that that's true for me anyways. So on the topic of failing interviews or, any sort of application, maybe it's for an internship or the job you've always wanted, whatever, you put in a proposal for a freelance job and you didn't get it. Whatever type of failure that is, what you need to do from there is figure out what happened. So when I actually failed my interview for Microsoft, I had been in close contact with one of the guys that I was interviewing with, and I sent him a message and was like, hey, what kind of happened? Like, where did I miss the mark? What are things I can work on? So maybe there's a possibility in the future that either like I can come work for you guys, or I can help you guys out, or just for my future career in the tech/software space, what can I do to be better? He sent me a few things that I missed the mark on when they were doing it, exactly what they were looking for, and a lot of it were things that I could work on. Things that I could progressively get better at on my own. So I took that information and I applied it to my life, like making sure that I am knowledgeable of the things before I go into present on them or speak on them. And the other big thing, when you do fail, like when I failed then, I actually cried when I didn't get the Microsoft job. I know. It was probably for about 10 minutes, maybe not even that long. I was upset, but then I kind of got frustrated with myself. And that's something that I do and that may be unique to me as an individual. But a lot of times I internalize what I'm supposed to do and I use it as self-motivation. So I am somebody who is inwardly driven. So I am like always in this like competition, like yes, with other people, but also with myself, because I know I can be better. Like I know I have a finite amount of time on this earth. And so I genuinely want to make the most of it and genuinely impact people in a positive way while I'm here, which is why I started a YouTube channel. And that was, one of the things was the guy told me to continue producing YouTube content, continue on social media. And, after that was when I really started to grow my following on Instagram even more, because at first I was just focusing on Twitter. I was like, well, if I want to be different or stand out, I need to maybe be where other people are. And at the time when I started my Instagram, there wasn't a whole bunch of, techie/coders on Instagram, especially females. And so that's kind of what, got me into, that whole area. And then now it's just been a continual process of always iterating on my content, always iterating on myself, always iterating on the type of work I come out, the work that I do, and always making sure that when I do have a client or I do, have a project in the works with somebody, that I'm making sure that I am on par with their expectations on what they think of me. Because if it came down to it and, you fail something again, or maybe you get that client and you don't want to fail them. The key thing is to always be in contact and always making sure that you are, living up to expectations and you're delivering what is expected of you. And that's something that I think a lot of us, need to keep in mind when we are freelancing, is that yes, it's our own time. Yes, we can work from wherever, but it's so important to make sure that you are communicating with those clients so you don't fail. And lastly, when you do fail something, write it down. I journal every single day, but it's not like quality work. I do hope to get better at it. Josh is really good at journaling, actually. Write it down. Talk about your feelings in that moment when you failed. Write down the things that you can actually work on to get better, so hopefully that doesn't happen again, even though it will. Like failing at stuff is inevitable. Like you're always gonna fail at something. Like it's okay. We're humans, we come up short. You need to learn from it. So what I like to do is make sure I write down what it was, what my expectations were, and what was the result. Did I expect to get that job? I didn't get that job. Why do I think I didn't get that job? How can I improve? And also, what did I do well? You always want to make sure that you're giving yourself props, good job for things that you did well at. We forget to do that all the times, and we usually always look at the negative. But make sure you write it down and you incorporate the positive things, because like I said, failure is inevitable, but it's what you do with it and how you come up. So right now, yes, I failed an interview with Microsoft, but that didn't stop me from continually working with them and reaching out to people that work at Microsoft to see if they needed help. And yeah, so now I'm back in Seattle and I'm doing something with them, but you won't find out till next video. So if you would subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it, because you will then be notified when that next video comes out and you can see the secret project, or at least the behind the scenes and what it is. But if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.